while my hands shook typing. Thursday night, my phone buzzed with a text from Jacob saying they were really in love, and I was overreacting about the age thing. He wrote that nothing sexual happened until recently, and begged me not to ruin his life over this. I didn't write back, but took a screenshot and added it to my evidence folder. Friday turned into a mess of phone calls trying to figure out who was supposed to handle this, since Jacob lived in a different county near campus. The campus police said it was our home county's problem, but our county said the university was involved, so it was complicated. I spent 3 hours on hold getting transferred between departments. I finally called Ashley's mom to check on all those sleepovers Bristol claimed to have. She went quiet when I explained why I was asking, then told me Bristol had only stayed over twice in the past 6 months. She sounded sick when she realized she'd been helping them without knowing it, and said she'd write down everything she remembered for the authorities. We both kept apologizing to each other, even though neither of us knew what was really happening. Monday morning, Paige called to say she'd be interviewing Bristol at the school that afternoon, and I couldn't be there for it. Standard protocol, she said, but it made my stomach hurt thinking about my daughter facing questions alone. I spent the whole day at work checking my phone every 5 minutes and getting nothing done. When Bristol got home, she slammed the front door so hard the pictures on the wall shook. She screamed that I was ruining her life and told them lies about Jacob being some kind of predator when they were in love. I tried to explain I was protecting her, but she ran to her room and locked the door. Around 7 that night, Paige called back and said there were concerning patterns in how Bristol answered questions about the relationship. She wouldn't give specifics, but said they'd need to do follow-up interviews and create a safety plan. Tuesday morning, I called around for lawyers and got an appointment with Ken Roberts for that afternoon. His office was in this old building downtown and smelled like leather and coffee. Ken was maybe 60 with gray hair and looked tired but listened to everything without interrupting. When I finished, he leaned back and told me straight up I could face assault charges for punching Jacob. My hands started sweating when he explained Michigan law didn't care that Jacob was with my underage daughter. Assault was assault. But he also said we could file for a protective order to keep Jacob away from Bristol since she was a minor. The paperwork took 2 hours, and my hand cramped from writing the same information over and over. Ken made copies of everything and said he'd file it tomorrow morning. Wednesday he called to say the order was filed, but warned me to document everything and avoid any contact with Jacob. He said my punch could actually help Jacob's defense lawyer argue I was violent and unstable. That made me want to throw up, because I realized my anger might have given my son a way to avoid consequences. Ken told me to focus on protecting Bristol now and let the legal system handle Jacob. Thursday night, I sat Bristol down and explained the new rules starting immediately. 7 p.m. curfew on the school nights, 8 on weekends, no phone after 9 and no going anywhere without telling me first. She jumped up and threw her plate at the wall where it shattered and food went everywhere. She screamed that I was worse than prison and she hated me more than anything in the world. The neighbors probably heard her yelling about how I was destroying her life over nothing. She ran to her room and slammed the door